Hello and welcome back, my friends. We're back out in the greenhouse today. I'm going to be putting down some landscape fabric, also known as weed block. And pinning down this landscape fabric is the next step so that we can continue and finalize this build so we can start growing in here ASAP. Now the first step is going to be to level out the ground the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you get rid of any larger rocks or sticks, anything that can poke through the fabric. One of the biggest problem areas when building a greenhouse or hoop house like this is going to be right around the framework. If you've got weeds coming up around the edging there, that's not only going to look unsightly, but it's going to cause you problems, going to drop weed seed in your greenhouse. You don't want that. So I'm going to be rolling out this fabric and making sure that I go past the edge of the framework. And to pin the fabric down, all you need is a rubber mallet. And I bought this kit online, comes with the landscape staples here, a couple packs of those. And it also came with these nice plastic discs for the staples to go through, which is going to help to pin down that material without causing any tears in the fabric. So whether or not you have a greenhouse, today's video should be helpful for you if you've never installed landscape fabric before, which has many applications out in the garden to help suppress those weeds. Once you've got this material installed, all you need is a utility knife or a razor knife, and you can cut a quick X anywhere that you want to install a plant. So whether you're installing it as part of a pathway system, which is essentially what I'm doing here in the greenhouse, whereas after you secure the fabric, you put some sort of a mulch or layer on top, whether it be rocks, wood chips, bark, and that gives you that decorative appearance without any weeds popping through. And I'm going to make sure to cut a little extra so that we get past the framing here. But another application is actually right out in the garden, and you see this on commercial grows all the time, where this landscape fabric is installed and it's not covered by any other mulch. So depending on what crop or crops you're planting, you want to get this material secure and mark out where the plants go, make your cuts, plug in your plants, run some drip irrigation. Another potential benefit for gardeners to plant this way is not just weed suppression, but it also can cut back dramatically on insect damage, and it also works as a mulch covering all by itself, helping to retain moisture in the soil. And this fabric is porous as well, so general rain should seep through no issues. And when you're cutting your material, you want to go 5 or so inches past the actual length you want, because we're going to overlap it. Anywhere that we make a cut is going to cause fraying in the material. So by overlapping it before we knock down the staples, that's going to help to keep everything secure and keep it from unraveling. So now I'm going to transfer the material under the frame, which is very light because I don't have it anchored down yet. Now I really like these landscape staples because they're landscape color green and they've got a protective coating over them. So again, on any cut edge you can see the fraying. That's what we want to stop from continuing. So we're going to fold under about 4 or 5 inches, overlap. And now we're going to start installing our staples. We're going to put a staple about every 3 to 4 feet. And you can see how the staple goes right through the plastic piece like so. And then use the mallet to knock it the rest of the way in. Take your time so you don't bend the staple. If you smack it too hard, it's going to bend that metal. There we go. It's also helpful when you do this if you keep the landscape fabric taut by just kind of pulling it back. So I'm going to continue along pinning in this outer edge of this fabric before we come down and create another layer, which we're going to overlap about 6 inches. So be right back with you. All right, so I'm getting ready to lay down my second run of the material. And like I said, we're going to overlap it by about 5 or 6 inches with the previous run. So if you kind of support the staple with your thumb and index finger as you're working it down, it has a less tendency of wanting to bend out of shape. All right, so we got the landscape fabric down, looking real clean. At this point, you can put whatever mulch you'd like over the top, wood chips, bark, or even something more decorative like a turf rug. But whatever you put on top, you want it to be porous. That's going to give it a nice clean look and block all the weeds from coming up in here. But you don't necessarily have to put a mulch covering over this material. So I hope this video was helpful or entertaining to you in some way. If so, be sure to smash that thumb button for us. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day. We're always giving you updates on all the different things going on around here. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for part 3 where I show you how I'm going to anchor down this structure. Coming up real soon. Until next time, this is Dan from PlantAbundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.